Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another MMATakeover.com interview. My name is Keith Schillen. Today's guest has a perfect 8-0 MMA record, including a 1-0 record in the UFC. He trains on a Tiger Showman's team, and he returns to the Octagon on April 8th at UFC 210 in Buffalo, New York, against Charles Rosa. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Burgos. Shane, how you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
I appreciate it. We appreciate taking time out of your schedule. I know you're in the middle of a training camp right now. Obviously, very
Yep.
important fight. So we appreciate just taking the time and talking to us.
No problem.
So, Shane, my very first question I got to ask you, we always ask everybody, is how'd you get into MMA?
Just from the Ultimate Fighter, honestly. As generic as it is. I started watching Ultimate Fighter season 2 in 8th grade and just became hooked ever since I saw that. So I found a local Tiger Showman's gym around my town, and the rest is history. I've been training the same team for the past 10 plus years.
Now, you said you were in 8th grade then?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 26. I just turned 26 on Sunday.
Oh, jeez. You're like, man, you're making me feel old and you're saying 8th grade. When I was in 8th grade, that's actually the same time I started watching MMA, but it was UFC 6. So a
wow.
big difference. I'm a lot older than you. Was there a fighter on the Ultimate Fighter that kind of attracted you from that season?
Yeah, there's a bunch of fighters. I was huge fans of Rashad Evans, Melvin Guevara, Keith Jardine. A lot of fighters from that season.
Okay. Yeah, that was the same season. I think that was Joe Stevenson won that season, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was a big Matt Hughes fan at that time, so I was watching all the UFC Unleashed episodes. Saw Matt Hughes and Rich Franklin, and I was fans of them, so it was cool. It was a good season.
Have you had a chance to meet Matt Hughes yet?
I met him back when I was in, I think, 10th grade or something like that.
Oh, yeah?
At the Arnold Classic, yeah.
Well, he's talking about coming back out of retirement. Is that a fight you want to get?
A fight that I want to get?
Yeah, you want to go against the legend, Matt Hughes?
I look up to him, but he's a little too big for me. I'm 45, he's a 70-pounder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got to throw it out there. I was trying to, if you say yes, I could, put that on our website right away and we get some news going.
Yeah, if you can make 45, then why not?
So you said you went to Tiger Showman's team. Just to recap, you went when you were in 8th grade?
Yep.
Wow.
The summer. I started watching 8th grade. The summer of 9th grade is when I started training.
Okay.
Yep.
Any belts you got from them?
Yeah, first degree black belt under Tiger Showman's.
Nice. And how about BJJ? Do you have anything in BJJ?
We do no-gi grappling. Our system is just overall black belt, so it's not a black belt in striking or a black belt in grappling. It's just overall black belt.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
So how'd you get the nickname the Hurricane?
Really stupid story, honestly. I had the old UFC game for the PlayStation 2, and I was making myself in the game, and you had to pick a nickname for your fighter, and one of the options was Hurricane.
Okay.
And I was like, I guess that sounds like the one that goes the best with my name, so I kept it Matt, and ever since then it just stuck.
They call you the Hurricane from the old video game.
Yeah, Hurricane Shane, yeah.
So, obviously you're perfect 8-0 now. You're 7-0 when you get the call for the UFC. Tell us, how did that call come in, and also, were you expecting it at that time?
It was awesome, honestly. I had 3 weeks notice. I was training for a fight previously for CFFC. It was for the interim title for the featherweight division, and that fight actually fell apart, fell through. And I was in great shape for that fight, and I found out a week later that my UFC opponent, Thiago, his opponent, backed out. I think he hit USADA problem or something like that. So my friends and they just started tweeting to Sean Shelby and all of them in the UFC, telling them just get Shane the card, get me in the card. And told the manager, and the manager got in contact with them, and then one thing went to another, and then I was teaching. I was actually at Tiger Showman teaching, and so my phone kept ringing from him, and I was like, I have a feeling right now. And he called. I finally answered the phone, and he told me that you got to fight. I was like, oh God, it's crazy.
Oh wow, that's cool. So
2 weeks notice, yeah.
So I'm sure all your friends are taking credit for you being in your seat, not for their hard work, for them tweeting. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, those
a bunch of tweets and retweets.
Yeah, those UFC matchmakers, those guys. Man, their Twitter must blow up every day because I follow Twitter. Obviously, I'm trying to follow the fighters being in the media, and I've done it myself, and I've tweeted out to them. There's a guy right now fighting for CES MMA, Matt Bissett. I can't believe he's not in the UFC yet. I'm saying, hey man, you gotta get Matt Bissett in there. Or another guy that I was always tweeting out was Andre Sikmatot, who just made his debut. UFC was that UFC 209? He fought Albert Morales. So yeah, the Twitter's a powerful tool to get your name out there and get you some recognition. So
yeah, man. Without it, who knows? I probably wouldn't have the fight without Twitter.
So let's just recap your fight. You fought a really gamed opponent in Thiago Trator. Basically, just a recap. If anybody hasn't seen the fight, it was a fantastic fight. It was part of the,
Thank you.
yeah, it was part of the UFC Albany card. I think you had a standing ovation from the crowd at the end. I know.
Yeah, that was most of my family and friends, honestly. I packed yeah, I only live about an hour and 20 minutes away, so
okay.
I had a lot of people in attendance. Yeah.
No. I'm not just saying this because you're talking. It was a great fight. I mean, even John Anik at one point said that Joe Silva jumped out of the seat. Just to recap, it was a really close first round, kind of back and forth. He tried to clinch with you in the beginning. You kind of worked out of it. It seemed like about halfway through the round, you were starting to get comfortable, started finding your range. And then the second and third round were basically you tracking him down. It seemed like you were like plotting, and you just started landing. You landed a lot of power shots too. And he showed
a chin.
Yeah, and I was gonna say he showed a good chin. And you guys swung it out at the end. Is that how you expected the fight to go? Did you expect it to go like that?
No, not at all. I expect to finish every single fight. So
okay,
it was pretty funny that I went to decision, but I'm not mad about it at all. Actually, it's good to get your feet wet, especially your first fight being in the UFC.
Yeah,
you want to. I mean, I've never been to the third round, let alone the decision. So you always had that what if in the back of your mind. And I took that fight on 2 weeks' notice, and I felt like I was the fresher fighter in that third round.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually I take notes on every fighter. Every fighter you see, obviously, I do it for our website. I do it for personal. This is my favorite thing in the world to do is follow MMA. Yeah. And I got to be honest. I'll give you my basically scouting report. The negative I wrote about you is that I go question mark on cardio. Like he hasn't been deep into fights, and also he's taking the fight on short notice. So that I had that question mark like how's his cardio going to hold up? Obviously,
obviously that's rightful.
Yeah, you didn't slow down at all. So let me ask you a question. Everyone always talks about UFC jitters. Did you feel the UFC jitters going into that?
No, not at all, actually. That's a good question. But I felt very, very comfortable the whole time. Just felt like right at home. I felt like I was meant to be there. I've said that in previous interviews, but that's like the best way to describe it. Like there was no nerves. I was pumped. I was ready to go, and it just felt like home.
Okay, so you felt like you're at home. You got to win. Now you're undefeated. Do you feel any pressure being undefeated? Is it a thing you think about? Like, do you think about the possibility of a loss, or is it just one fight at a time?
There's always pressure, just because. I mean, especially with fighting, you get show and win money. So I always bank on getting that win money. So there's always pressure to win because one, I want to win first and foremost, and then two, I want to get my win money too. So there's always pressure. Every single fight there's pressure. If I lose my next 5 fights, there'll still be pressure. You know what I mean? There's always going to be pressure.
Okay. Now, you were born in the Bronx. Did you grow up in the Bronx, too?
Yeah, I lived there until I was in fifth grade, yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming you're a Yankee fan?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously Charles Rosa, he's that Boston strong guy. He's a Red Sox fan. I mean, are they planning on marketing the old Red Sox-Yankee rivalry?
I don't know. I was thinking about wearing like a Yankee hat to the wings or something.
No, don't do that. Listen, yeah.
I'm not trying to get fined.
No, don't do that. I'll be 100% honest with you. Our headquarters is in Rhode Island, which is obviously southern New England. I've watched a lot of Charles's career. Obviously, he came up through CES, which is stationed right here in Rhode Island, where I live. So I've watched a lot of Charles's career. I try to be even. I don't want to be biased, but if you wear that Yankee hat, being a Red Sox fan, I'm gonna have to root against you, man.
That's all good, man. Honestly, the only reason why I would wear a Yankee hat is because of that Boston New York rivalry. But right now, I have zero interest in any other sports besides combat sports. Okay. I don't watch baseball. I don't watch football. I don't watch basketball. The only thing I watch is MMA and boxing. That's it.
Okay. Is there a boxer you like?
Zero interest.
Any boxers you like?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Canelo. Big fan of Triple G.
Oh yeah. Did you watch the last fight with Triple G?
Yeah.
How'd you score it? How'd you score it?
I had it was close. I had I think I had it was 7-5 for Triple G.
Yeah.
That's how I had it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had it similar to that. Yeah.
It was a close fight though.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a great fight. Fantastic fight. So let's talk about your camp. How's your camp going?
It's going good, man. I feel good. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready to go now.
So tell us, you're just over 2 weeks. You're weighing in 2 weeks from today. Anybody who's listening at home, we're taping this. It's little after 6, March 24th. Tell us what like a typical day of training. Like, what did you do today?
Today was grappling and then kickboxing, and then after I had a nice little strength and conditioning session at a local gym right next to my house. So that was my day. It's a couple hours long, but it's good. Now I can relax for the rest of the day. Tomorrow I'll right back at it.
Okay. And
every day is different, though. Every day varies. Sometimes I'm wrestling, sometimes I'm kickboxing, sometimes I'm doing both, sometimes I'm just doing cardio one day. Every day is different.
And who are you working with?
One of my main training partners for this fight has been Julio Araujo. If you've never heard of him, you need to, because that dude is fucking stud, man. 135 and 145 champ in ring combat, only fighter ever in ring combat history to win a title in 2 different weight classes.
Yep.
And now we didn't win him, but he defended it. So.
You got to get him. No, I'm sorry. What'd you say his name was?
Julio Araujo.
Okay, you got to get the people tweeting him out, man. You got if he.
I do it all the time. All the time. He's a beast.
Okay.
Cardio for days. Golden Gloves champion. He's so well-rounded. He's honestly one of my biggest assets is having that dude on my team.
Yeah.
He's always there to help any of us out. So appreciate that dude.
Have you been getting any rounds with Jimmy?
With Jimmy, yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm always working with Jimmy too.
Yeah. Just sorry if everybody was let home. I was talking about Jimmy Rivera is one of his main training partners. Obviously, he's in the top 10 rankings. Obviously, one of the top fighters in the UFC right now. So let's talk about your weight. The weight class is at 145. We're exactly 2 weeks from when you have to weigh in. What's your weight right now?
My weight's probably around 157, 158.
Okay.
Not too bad.
And that's right where you want to be?
Pretty good. Exactly. Yeah. And then this next week, I'll taper it down a little bit more. And then last week, I'll just cut the rest of the water weight out.
No worries about the early weighings. I mean, the reason why I ask is because, I've been a fan of MMA, like I said, UFC 6. I've been in MMA for, I think it's 22 years now. The weight, I've never seen weight issues like it is recently. I know you saw it with the rules, with the rehydration. Obviously, the early weighings has not been helping some people. That's why I just asked. I didn't think there was going to be an issue, especially if you took it on, you made weight on short notice. But, of course, I'm going to have to ask. So let's transition to Charles, your opponent. Charles Rosa, he's been in the UFC for a while. He's had up and down. I think he's 2-2 in the UFC. He's a well-rounded fighter. Like I said, I watched a lot of his fights coming up from CES.
I look to exploit that without obviously giving my game plan.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But like I said, like you said, he's good. He's good everywhere. So I'm just gonna go in there and fight. I don't really like to game plan too hard because I feel like if you do, and that doesn't work out, then it gets mental, it gets in your head, and you fuck up. So I'm just going to go out there and just fight. That's how it's going to go.
Now, I've talked to some fighters. Some fighters watch a lot of film on guys. Some fighters watch none. Some guys say, hey, I want to watch a lot of film. I want to know everything he does. I mean, this is my profession. The Patriots watch film on the Jets. Kind of like that kind of aspect. And then you have the other fighters say, listen, I watch too much film on a guy that I'm just looking for what he's doing, and I fight his style instead of fight mine. You're in that camp.
I watch no film.
Okay, so you're in that camp. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. My coaches watch the film. They let me know what he's good at, what he's bad at, what I should look to exploit, stuff like that. But I've seen most of his fights in the UFC because just as a fan, like just watching the fight.
Yeah.
And I always had a feeling that me and him would cross paths. So anytime a 45 fight is on, I'm always watching it.
So when you're watching fights, are you watching it so you're not really studying them, you're just watching for enjoyment?
Yes. It depends, though. If it's in my weight class, then I'm always studying it.
Okay.
But honestly, like I'm always studying it, period. Like just in general, because if I see a technique that this guy does in another weight class, I like to emulate and see if I can adapt that to my style.
Yeah. So what is a win over a Charles Rosa? What does that do for your career?
A win over him?
Yep.
I think it'd be obviously it'd be the biggest one of my career. So I think it'll put me right up in the top. I'd say probably top 30, maybe around there. So in the world. So I'll take that.
All right. So
and keep working my way up.
Okay. So you got a win over him. What's next? Is there anybody you're looking at?
No, not at all. I can't even begin to think about anything else. Besides he's a tough dude. That'd be stupid of me to focus on someone else. So my main only focus is on him.
Yeah. No, but I got to ask, because sometimes you ask a fighter, hey, who you want next? And I get the answer you said a lot, like, hey, I'm only looking at this guy. I'm not looking past him. Then you got the other guy. They'll give me a whole list. You ask Kevin Lee, and he's got he's got his next 3 years planned out. You know.
Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah, I got this fight planned out, and that's it.
Okay. So let's do some predictions. The main event is Anthony Rumble Johnson. He's challenging Daniel Cormier for the UFC title. Daniel Cormier beat him in the first fight. What do you think happens this time?
Great fight. That's such a toss-up fight because DC.
It is.
Rumble hits so damn hard that one punch can end the fight at any time.
Yeah.
But just based off the first fight, I think that DC will be able to take it down again and be able to work that wrestling on him and grind him out. So I can't give an exact prediction, but I'm just going to pick DC.
Okay. And how about your fight? Let's hear your prediction for your fight.
For my fight?
Yeah.
Knockout submission, I don't care. TKO, a finish. That's what I predict.
Okay.
Finish.
All right, any round?
Nope.
Okay.
Don't care.
It's not going to go to decision. All right, so all the people listening at home who like to gamble, you heard from Shane himself. Make sure you parlay Daniel and Shane together. Big payday for you.
Yeah, smart.
So before we let you out of here, we do this thing we call it the fan forum question. We actually stopped doing this, but it was actually brought back by special requests. People loved it, so I guess the people ask better questions than I do. So this one comes in from Jeff from Ohio, and his question is, when you are not training, what do you spend most of your time doing?
Good question. Damn. When I'm not training, I guess work.
Okay.
Working. I teach at local Tiger Showman school.
Okay.
I'm head instructor there. So when I'm not training, that's what I'm doing. And if I'm not doing that, then I just had a baby last month.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
Hanging out with my wife, hanging out with my baby. Yeah, thank you. So that's probably the main things I'm doing, working or hanging out with family.
Is that your first kid?
Yes, first kid, yeah.
Yeah. Do you mind me asking, a boy or girl?
Girl.
Girl. Oh, well, that's good to have a father who can fight to protect the girl.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
There won't be many guys coming around when they find out father's a professional fighter.
No, of course not.
Anything else you like to do with your spare time? Video games, books, anything like that?
Yeah, I play a little Call of Duty here and there, just to pass the time, especially when I'm cutting weight. I like to just focus on doing anything besides, when you're sitting down watching TV, you want to eat while you watch TV.
Yeah, of course.
So a lot of times I just play video games when I have those bad cravings, just to get my mind off of eating.
Okay, probably the worst question to ask you, but when the fight's all over, you get to cheat, you get to eat something. What's the thing? What's your go-to meal?
Oh man, it is a bad question because I'm hungry right now. But I'm a fat kid at heart, man. I love to eat. That's that's another thing I like to do when I'm not training. I like to eat.
Yeah,
that's what I like to do. I like to go to different restaurants and stuff like that. But my favorite thing, my go-to thing after a fight is probably just a nasty, sloppy burger from some restaurant.
Yeah, they thick one.
Or
yeah. Okay, all right.
That or some kind of dessert, some kind of sloppy dessert.
Okay. Well, I'm actually going up there in Buffalo. So after you win, hopefully we can hook up and we'll go get some sloppy burgers and I'll let you.
Some buffalo wings, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What were we thinking of? Right, you're Buffalo. You go to that. The bar itself that created buffalo wings is right up there.
Exactly. I already planned that out, man.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I want to let you get out of here. But my very last question to you, Shane, is: have you submitted to the takeover?
This is Shane Burgos, and I submitted to the takeover.
Shane, I wish you luck in everything you do. Wish you luck in this fight and all the future fights, and we welcome you to the MMA Takeover family.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Have a good one, all right?
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, that was an interview with UFC fighter Shane Burgos. Make sure to check out his fight April 8th at UFC 210 against Charles Rosa. Also, make sure you head over to our website, themmmatakeover.com, to receive all the best MMA coverage. That's themmmatakeover.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Thanks for listening.